My story is not that far from what you're experiencing right now. Yet here I stand. Through all the violence, all the drug abuse, through all the countless sleepless nights in the darkness of some rundown trap house, here I stand. Pain and a whole lot of lost time. But it's also a story of triumph. So thank you guys. With a show of hands, how many of us have a story? You guys got a story? Now, how many of our stories have been all wins and no losses? None of us, right? Good afternoon, gentlemen. My name is Ricky Zazueta, 199368. A lot of the homies in here know me as Smacks. I was incarcerated in the Utah State Prison from 2012 to 2019. But have been in and out of juvenile hall to jail my whole life. In October of 2011, I lost the closest person to me, my little brother. And for the next 9 months leading up to my incarceration, fueled by my addiction, driven by the hurt and pain that I felt from the loss of my little brother, I terrorized the city of Salt Lake, finally earning myself an aggravated robbery charge with a weapon that carried a 30-year sentence. So as you can see, my story's not that different from yours. My story is not that different from what you're experiencing right now. How many of us know that it's possible to have a great story after prison? I like that. How many of us know that we can not only change the direction of our lives, but the lives of the ones who deserve it most? The ones on the outside waiting on us. You want to know how I did it? You know when it starts? It starts right now. Not when you get released. Not when you finally decide to stop doing what you've been doing your whole life, getting nowhere. Right now. You want to know how I know this to be true? Because I was you. And my transformation started right here, behind these walls. Let me show you guys. Can we get the lights? My name is Ricky Zazueta. I'm currently standing in front of the Utah State Prison, a place where I spent actually 7 years. I spent 7 years in this place. I actually got my life together and got everything figured out. I have the opportunity to go in there and kind of relive some things. Damn. This building right here, dude, after 7 years, this is the building. This is called the Glass House. This is the building you're working towards. It took me 7 years to walk through that house. 7 straight years. My family struggled because I was in there. You don't gotta struggle. This room right here, in this room right here, this room right here, I raised my kids through this room. My daughter right now, who's actually recording me right now, actually sat in this visiting room with me, wept for me, cried for me. I raised my kids in this room. It's crazy. This is cell 7. This is a cell that I spent numerous years in the cell right here. You guys want to know how prison looks? You living in a bathroom. This was my bunk. At one point, I was in here with my little brother, and he lived up here. I used to look out this window all the time, try to see how the weather looked. You're living in a 6x8 cell. You're pretty much living in a bathroom. This is the block that they send you to. I lived on this block for years. This is probably the oldest part of the prison. Showers right here to the right.
Were they to the point of strip down, shampoo up, and say, come get me? No?
This is the oldest part of the prison right here. Right here, Oos. This was my house right here.
Oh, what?
This was my house right here. This is another cell that I spent years in this cell. This was a single man dorm. I lived in this cell by myself for several years before I got moved in 2000. I got moved in 2017 to the Conquest program. This right here in this little area, I want you to picture this. We got chairs right here, all the boys, all the poly boys, we sitting right here. We get these right here, make a bunch of saimingi, we'll make some spreads, we'll eat up, and we'll eat and enjoy the time that we have in here, man. We try to do our best. I'm gonna tell you right now, man, prison is not where you wanna be. I struggled my way through this place, and I made it out. These are the ones that are suffering. You see that? This is somebody's child, somebody's woman, somebody's child that they're missing. That's what this place does. This right here is the yard. This right here where all the action would happen. If it was going down, it was going down right in this area. This grass right here, the somewhat of what you see is grass. I actually laid that sod. I was actually here long enough to lay it. And this right here, this pull-up bar, this is where we would come and get our money. And try to stay fit and try to keep our mind off of the time we were doing. Dude, I want to stay in this area so my wife could visit me and my kids, you know what I mean? So they never thought of counting me out. Hey, come on. Let's go get a quick session. Don't play with me, dog. Let's go get a quick session. What's up, host? Let's go real quick. Let's go get a quick session. Come on. Come on. Let's go get a quick session. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. I spent a lot of years in these walls. A lot of guys, they might be furthering their criminal behavior, which a lot of us do. We have no choice but to try to survive in this place. You know, I had to do what I had to do to survive, but I also did what I had to do to get my education. I actually got a high school diploma while I was sitting in prison. I actually went to college and got my college degree in the culinary arts, a degree in which I'm utilizing right now to this day as a private chef at a private rehab center. So if you guys are struggling right now and you keep coming back and you're just adding on to the recidivism rate, you can make it. Sobriety looks good. You stay away from the drugs, you stay away from that lifestyle, it's gonna organically happen on its own. Unfortunately, I had to spend 7 years in this place in order to really learn myself and really to dig in deep and do what I needed to do to figure myself out, to learn my addiction, to learn the reasons why that brought me to this place that took me away from my kids. I've raised my kids in these walls. My kids suffered, my wife suffered, and I told myself every single day that I'm gonna do what I need to do so I don't repeat the mistakes that brought me here in the first place. I've been thugging and bugging and living gang life and living that thug life my whole life. Once I stepped foot in this prison, it was different for me.
Message to my dad. I am so happy that I came today to experience this with you. Being on the outside, not really knowing what you experience being in prison was already a heavy rock on my heart, as well as our family's hearts. And all I could do was imagine what you've been through and what you had to deal with. But meeting the people today who have come to support each other and seeing everything that you guys had to endure really put a different perspective in my heart. And it hurts it, but as well as makes me super appreciative to what you have been through to make the man that you are today. And I am very lucky to have you as my dad and to share your story and inspire others, because you inspire us every single day. And I love you so much. And our family loves you, and we appreciate your hard work. And keep doing you. I love you.
When you're in prison right here, I spent all those years back there. This is the place I was working towards to get. This is the place where you leave this place and put it behind you.
All right, fellas. Before we leave here today, I want to ask you guys a question. How many of you guys are ready to change? Now, how many of us have tried numerous times to change, only to fail miserably, time and time again? I know I have. You know why that is? Because you don't need a change. I don't know about you, but if you ask me, change has a negative connotation to it. The word change has a negative undertone to it. Because I don't know how to be anything other than who I am. You need a change. You ain't never gonna change. When are you ever gonna change? How many of us heard that? I've heard it hundreds of times. We don't need a change. We need to grow mentally, physically, and spiritually. We gotta allow ourselves to organically become that man we're supposed to be. The fathers that we're supposed to be. The husbands we're supposed to be. You want to know when it starts? Right now. This is when it starts, right now. With a show of hands, how many of us are ready for growth? Let me hear you say it. Repeat after me. I. Come on. I will grow. Again. I will grow. It starts now. It starts now. It starts right here, right now. You guys want to know how I did it? You guys want to know how I did it? How I created this man you're looking at? Every night in my cell, while everyone else was asleep, I'd lay in my bunk and I'd close my eyes and I'd envision the man that I wanted to be. I'd envision the father that I wanted to be to my kids, the husband that I wanted to be to my wife. I want you guys to do something for me. Can you guys do something for me? Close your guys' eyes. Now I want you to envision that man you want to be. Envision the way he talks. Envision the way he walks. Feel his strength. Feel the confidence he has from knowing he is the protector, he is the provider, and he is the emotional support for his family. Can you guys see him? Can you guys feel him? You can open your eyes now. Before I close, y'all, I want to leave you guys with this. You cannot be what you cannot see. Y'all feel that? You cannot be what you cannot see. If you can't envision that man you want to be, if you can't envision that father you want to be, that brother you want to be, that son you want to be, that husband you want to be, if you can't envision that person, there's a good chance you won't even be able to create that man. I want you guys to look at me. You guys looking at me? You guys see me up here? The way I walk? The way I talk? Can you guys see my strength? Can you guys see my confidence? You know where it started? I envisioned it first. Sitting in my cell. I created this person. I envisioned him, and then I created him. You guys got to start creating, fellas. You guys got to start creating and envisioning the man you want to be now. Thank you, my boys. Thank you, fellas. Appreciate y'all, man. I left some time, right? Because I think it's important for us to have some dialogue. Let's turn this down a little bit. I left this time open for some questions. You guys got questions? That's how we learn. Ask me anything. You guys got any questions? Bate.
I don't have questions. When they put up their flyer, I told my little brother and my little cousins.
My bad, Uso, I'm listening to you.
I was sleeping, I heard them talking about Ricky. And I was like, who you said? When they said your name, I was like, oh yeah. And they gave us the flyers, and I told my little brother getting ready to go home. I was like, I remember the day that this guy told me that he's gonna switch shit up. And I was with him, you know what I mean, before he did this. My little brother said, well, what did he do? I said, shit. From what it sounded like, you know what I mean, he found something he's passionate about. You know what I mean? Like you said, we do what we gotta do. You know what I mean?
Everybody's passion is different, man. You guys, we all have passion. We all have drive. It's all subjective. I love you, Pate. I love you a lot, Toko. I think about you guys all the time. Real talk. I'm here right now because I'm trying to make a difference for you guys. I'm trying to show you guys. Look at me. Look at me. I've been through what you've been through. I did what you did. But there comes a point in time in our life where the time that we're doing, the hurt and the pain and the destruction that we're causing in the wake of what we're leaving behind us, it's our moms, it's our kids, it's our wives. They're the ones suffering. And I do remember that. I remember we were in Salt Lake County together. You caught your case, I caught mine. Once I was in there, I knew that I needed to do something different, man. And that's what you guys got to do. You guys got to figure out, keep your family and your loved ones at the forefront of your mind. That's how I did it. My wife, my kids, they were at the forefront of my mind, Oos. I knew one day I was going to walk out these prison gates. Am I going to walk out the same person and worse? I come right back. No. I'm going to better myself. I'm going to do what I got to do. I'm going to fully utilize what the prison has to offer me. Education, get your education. The state can take your time. They can't take your education. That's key. I got out. You know when I got out? You know when I started working? I had a job the week I got out. I got education. That's what started me and kept me moving and kept me busy. A lot of guys in here in prison, you guys are staying busy. That's super important. That's what you want to do. You don't want idle time. Work out, do some programming, become better. Let's get another question.
You say in your flyer, you say the odds are stacked against us. I mean, it is. It's stacked against all of us, each and every one of us. Commend you and respect you for being able to stand up against those odds and push forward. You know, a lot of us, it's not that we can't do it, it's just the odds are too heavy. The odds are stacked against us hard.
Oh, brother. The odds are stacked against you. You think society buys into me now? Society still counts me out. Even though I've accomplished what I've accomplished, they still count me out. Am I going to roll over on that? I don't know how to roll over. I'm going to equip myself with the necessary tools needed. So start creating that person now, bro. Start creating that high vibrational human being, that high vibrational man, right? You got to start creating him. You got to start envisioning him. I promise you, even right now, the fact that I'm standing up here right now and talking to you guys, you know where that started? Where did it start, Pate? Right here, Togo. It started right here in my mind. I was like a year out. I said, you know what, man? I would love to go back and motivate the boys in there, man. To motivate them. And here I stand. I hope that answers you. I hope that gives you a little response to your comment, bro. Appreciate you, man. Let's get another question.
So, when you got out, and because you know, life happens, you know, and shit starts piling up. What was one of the tools that you utilized, like one of your coping mechanisms that you used?
If there's one thing that I learned in prison, bro, I learned that I'm resilient. I learned life can throw curveballs at me and I won't fold. I lost a job in prison. Did I say, oh man, I'm gonna go and Nah, I kept pushing. Out there in the street, when I got out, life throws curveballs at me. Negativity should never be an option. That's one. A lot of times we don't even realize, man, that over that hump is just around the corner, but you can't see it because it's a corner. You feel me? You looking over there, you don't see it. But if you would have just held on just a little bit longer, you would have hit that corner and be like, oh, okay, I could do this. My life ain't been easy, bro. I'm a certified chef, dog. I've been a certified chef for 2 years, almost 2 years now, at this place called Renaissance Ranch. I'm also a certified personal trainer. I train 30 men every 2 months. And this is what I do to them. This right here, Oos. This is what I do. I teach them about the basics of fitness. And then I teach them how to utilize their already God-given talents and just exemplify them. So what I learned and what I did, Oos, was to never fold. I'm never gonna go pick up a gun and go try to rob somebody. I'm never gonna go pick up a dope sack and try to make a quick buck, because it doesn't work that way. I kept my nose to the grinder, and I put one foot in front of the other, Oos, and kept pushing. And I stayed on a positive frequency. Do you guys know what positive frequency is? I stayed on a positive mindset. Everything I was doing was positive, so I attracted positivity into my life, right? The first job I got out, I was making like $15 an hour, dog. $15 an hour. I knew that wasn't my worth. Don't get me wrong, $15 an hour is cool compared to getting paid $1.25 in prison. You know what I mean? But I knew that wasn't what I was worth. But did I quit and like, oh man, I'm out of here? $15 an hour? No, I stayed there. Stayed positive, but I also stayed moving and stayed looking, stayed putting my hands out there and reaching. For someone who's been out of prison for 4 years, fresh out of prison, that's unheard of. You know why I got it like that? I thought of it first. I promise you, I thought of it first. So if you guys take anything from what I just told you guys today, man, I'm gonna tell you guys right now, if you think envisioning is not a real thing, if you think manifesting things into your life that you're worth is not a real thing, I'm here to tell you that it is. And I know it's hard, man. I know it's hard to be positive and try to be on that positive frequency while you're in here. You know what I mean? You might feel like there's nothing to be positive about. There's nothing to work towards. There is. And for a lot of us, what makes it easy is your family. That makes anything easy to me. Think of my kids, think of my mom. You know what I told my mommy when I got out? She came and picked me up. I said, Mommy, gave her a kiss. I said, I love you, Mommy. She was crying, dog. I said, Mommy, I promise you, you'll never have to worry about me again. You'll never have to worry about where I'm at, whether I'm with my kids, whether I'm out there killing somebody or getting killed. Never. Every year on my birthday, my mom calls me. She says, son, you keep your promise every year, and I love you so much. That keeps me going, y'all. Let's get some more questions. We got some more time.
So I understand you say all these things, you know what I mean, but we're gonna go back, you know what I mean? Like, you understand what it's like?
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? We're here, you've been on this side, you know what I mean? We're gonna go back, we gotta, you know what I mean? You know what goes on back.
Absolutely.
The stress, the anxiety, especially for, somebody that's like me, my friend here, you know. So what can you do? Yeah, we're gonna go, like I said, we're gonna go back. You answered a lot of my questions, you know. We're gonna forget about all this, you know what I mean? Like 15, 20 minutes into the section, you know what I mean? We're gonna be back into our, you know what I'm saying? You know what I mean?
Back into the movement.
How do you continue to just strive to be on that note, you know what I mean? Be on the same tip that you're on, you know what I mean?
The behaviors you do right now, you know how you know those behaviors? Because you taught yourself those behaviors. You constantly thought about them. You constantly gave it your energy. So how do you unlearn those behaviors? You apply that same method. It's not rocket science. If you care enough about your reality, if you care enough about whether or not you come back to this place, don't get me wrong, I know how it is. I know how it is over there, right? I lived there. I lived in there. I was there for 7 years. You know what I mean? I still attend HUT, but I also wasn't putting myself in negativity because there's a lot of negativity, right? I did my best to keep myself around that. And so say you get back to the section, right? Somebody's like, hey, let's go do this, whatever, right? Something negative. You know what you do? You say, nah, I'm good, right? Then you push on. It may seem small, but that's a beginning. Because the next time it comes around, it's going to be a little bit more easier. A lot of times, bro, this is a paradigm we created ourselves. We created this. Just like I created myself, we created this, right? You got to change your paradigm, and you got to stick to it, no matter what. Ain't nobody going to kill you for trying to do good. Am I right? There's your answer. You know what I mean? How much time we got, Brian? We good? Okay. Any more questions? Okay. I hope you guys learned something, man, today. I hope I planted a seed. And remember, you guys, when you guys are back in your cell, envision him. What the? Think of that guy, dude. That good, loving guy, right?
And when you came to the person that had the freedom, how do you go, like, how do you, like, forgive them and forgive, like, the time they had you? What would you have to say to them to get out?
Say it again, bro. Sorry.
So with the persons that had your freedom, like the board, right?
When the victims, is that what you're talking about?
No, the board.
Oh, the board.
Had your freedom, how do you go with him and know what to say to get out?
I'm gonna tell you what I did when I went to the board, bro. I went to the board the first time, and when I went and I told them, hey, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, I think it was like 6 months after I was incarcerated. And they said, come back in 5 years. Come talk in 5 years, we'll talk about it. I was like, what? So there's no real answer what to tell them. You just got to speak from your heart, bro. But I knew when I came back in front of them, I wasn't going to have an empty folder. You guys know how many write-ups I got in 7 years? Not one. How many dirty UAs I got? Not one. I've been getting high my whole life, dog. Why the f would I come sit in prison and continue to be on some dumb shit? Right? So build yourself a resume, bro. Build yourself a resume. You like I said, we already got the odds stacked against us. Don't go up in front of them and be like, hey, you gonna let me out? And you ain't did nothing. You think they're gonna let you out? Probably not. And it sucks that, you know, our lives and our time is left up to 4 to 5 people and they have the decision, right? That's a sucky thing, and I know how it feels. But we already established that. No need to get all hurt about it. We already established it. That's the reality that we're in. Now let's come at them. The next time I came at them with a high school diploma, a culinary arts degree, a substance abuse treatment program, 0 write-ups. I did all the life skills. I had a job the whole time I was in prison. So they knew they wanted to let me go. It wasn't the day that I wanted, but they let me go.
So Ricky, about 7 years ago, I recognized a very common experience that both staff and the incarcerated folks experience quite a bit in prison, and that is they rarely get to see the success. They rarely get to see the fruits of the labor. The staff ultimately get to see the person come back or the person not leave, and rarely gets to see the person that left and never came back. And
Absolutely.
That's a similar experience that the incarcerated folks go through, is they get to see the person come back and they're getting influenced by the person that was unable to make it. About 2 years ago, the wardens and deputy wardens wanted to be able to recognize people for impacting others, and we've created a coin, and I wanted to present that to you.
Thank you so much.
You've given us both a different experience, both staff and the incarcerated folks a different experience, so thank you.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate that, man. Thank you guys, fellas. I appreciate y'all, man.